So when my alarm went off at 5 in the morning, I actually wanted to message my family and be like, nope, not going. But somehow I managed to get out of bed and get ready. And then we set out on a long journey to a semi-local lavender farm. So it was a lot smaller than the English lavender farms that I've been to, but it was still very, very beautiful. Of course, the first thing I was going to do is find the local cat, and she was super beautiful and she actually followed us around pretty much most of our journey. But of course, she also knew that I'm a cat person, so she came to me for some cuddles before we set out on the walk around the farm. They also had rabbits and chickens and ducks and goats. Basically heaven for me. If you know me, you know I want to have some goats and some chickens and some ducks. So yeah, it was great. And the whole place was absolutely stunning. They had a very beautiful barn and they walked us around just telling us about lavender and different types of lavender and how to make sure it grows in your garden and things like that. So overall, just a very peaceful experience. We then got to pick our own bouquet of lavender, and after that we made our way to the beautiful barn that I mentioned, where they had lots of dried lavender that we then used to basically make our own little scented pouches. So funnily enough, it's a lot harder than it looks. It took ages to get all the dried lavender off of the twigs, but in the end we got pretty nice pouches that smelled like the whole coach smelled of lavender after. Then we got to try some lavender lemonade, and honestly I didn't know what to expect and not everyone liked it, but I was a fan. So then it started raining and we couldn't really go outside, so they kind of had to improvise with us, and the lady came up with the idea that because the rain was getting worse and worse, we would try to plant our own lavender. So she kind of taught us how to cut lavender and then plant it in these small little pots and then hopefully get them to grow. As you can see, the weather was just getting worse and worse. It was thundering so much. So we went to the cafe and got some coffee and some lavender cheesecake, which was also absolutely delicious. Also, despite the rain, we did try some lavender ice cream as well, which was also very, very nice. Then I had to pay a visit to the goats, because who would I be if I didn't, right? I did ask my mum to video me with the goats, and she actually stopped recording when she should have been recording, so that's why there's not much footage. And the rain got even worse, so we just had to wait it out. Once we just about made it back to the coach, we had another long drive to a palace that is a very historical palace in Poland, and we got to learn all about the history of this place, and it was honestly absolutely stunning. A lot of the stuff inside is still original from a very, very long time ago. She did also tell us a story about how in the last decade there were 2 tornadoes that went through this place and absolutely devastated the grounds. So they have spent millions trying to fix the grounds. They actually have a very big park around them. So it was a very sad story, and I'm glad this place still stands. Then we went into a basement tour, which was interesting, and it felt a little bit like stepping back in time. So these beautiful windows are actually original back from when this palace was still lived in and used. And whilst I'm not religious, I do think these are absolutely gorgeous. We then went into an even lower basement where the wine cellar was, and she told us a story about one of the guys who lived there taking his girlfriend there to propose, and she actually freaked out because when she opened her eyes, instead of seeing that he was on one knee with a ring, she thought he had taken her to a tomb and was going to off her. So yeah, she panicked a little bit, but yeah, just look at the gorgeous insides of this palace. After the tour, we got to walk around the grounds for a bit and see the place that was destroyed by the tornadoes, and it made me really sad to learn how many trees actually fell, but the good thing is that it's still doing well. Next, we took a trip down to a winery, so we got to learn all about the different types of wines and grapes and how wine is made. And whilst that was all interesting, obviously the most fun part of it all at the end was tasting the actual wine. So we finally went in for the final part of the trip, which was a sit down with some wine tasting and some cheese.
What's on your mind? Tell me why you keep running away. Tell me now, what's on your mind? Tell me why you keep running away. The clock ticks loud in this empty space. I'm stuck in time, replaying every phrase. You said forever, but now it's gone. I'm chasing ghosts where I love belong.
So I'm home now. I am absolutely exhausted. I had to wake up at 5 and I'm not a morning person. And I went to bed quite late as well, which didn't help, but I'm used to going to bed late, so it was hard to fall asleep early. But yeah, we didn't really get any food apart from like cheesecake and ice cream and stuff. So I'm glad my mum thought ahead and made bagels. I mean, they did like text us before and say that, you know, you should maybe bring a sandwich or something. But I think they didn't make it clear that you literally weren't going to have anywhere to buy food. So I am starving. So I've just come home, sorted out all the animals, and now I've just peeled the potatoes. I'm going to wait for them to boil, and I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to go to bed. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far, and see you in the next one. Bye.